Peggy Jo won't go.
Here's our problem, is that we have this insurance, Blue Cross of Idaho, and it's basically paid for nothing related to Peggy's condition. And the first time I became aware of this was, initially they thought Peg had brain cancer, and they said she's just got a couple months max to live. Well, then she didn't die. So then they realized she'd had this massive cerebral hemorrhage. So we're at the Elks Rehab Hospital in Boise, and I'm sitting with this team of doctors to plan out our care. And they said, okay, we need your insurance information. And I go, well, I'm a state employee. We got Blue Cross of Insurance. They look at each other, and Dr. Beaver, who's the head brain doctor there, or was, says, shit. I go, what's wrong? And he goes, you've got what we call the Swiss cheese policy. And I go, what do you mean? And he said the legislature of Idaho went to Blue Cross and said, cut out everything that's kind of expensive, but hardly happens to that many people, so that we can bring down the cost and there can't be any big outcry. Well, brain rehab was one of the things they cut out. So they said to me, your insurance pays for 2 weeks. And I go, well, how much is she going to need? And they go, 2 years. And it's going to be kind of her full-time job. And I go, what happens if we do 2 weeks? They go, she'll never recover. And I said, what happens if we do 2 years? She'll recover 95%. And I go, well, we got to do it. And Dr. Beaver says, well, I'm just telling you, your insurance only pays 2 weeks, so you'll be on the hook for $25,000 to $30,000. So I go, well, we have to do it. But see, this is what's happening is you don't really have insurance because you got to guess what's covered. And if anything is weird in the least or expensive, it's being cut out. So I go to our human resources to complain, and I'm told, you have a Cadillac insurance policy, quit complaining. So I went to the provost to complain about how I was treated and about the insurance. It's unbelievable. So then the insurance starts to deny us these treatments that are designed for what Peggy has and is causing her problem, and that we have radiographic proof that it works. So she grows these hemangiomas. These are vascular masses. They sequestrate blood. That sequestration of blood causes a condition called DIC, which you die from. So we know all this. Avastin is a drug designed to address angiogenesis, or the creation of these new blood vessels. And it's typically used to cut off blood to cancer, but what it does is it attacks these new hemangiomas. So at the Mayo Clinic, our doctor, Dr. Pruthi, one of the top hematologists in the world, says, this is the treatment of choice for what Peg's got, we're going to give it to you. It did, it worked, the DIC went away. We did it at St. Luke's here in Boise when she was growing the hemangiomas. Again, it worked, destroyed the hemangiomas, Peg's DIC improved, we have radiographic proof it destroyed the hemangiomas. Well, Blue Cross denies it. On what basis? That Peg has an undiagnosed condition. Both our doctors have written very strong letters saying, we know the cause of the DIC, which is the hemangiomas. We don't know what's causing the hemangiomas, but that doesn't mean we don't understand what is the cause of the DIC, which is what's threatening Peg's life, and how to treat that. And it's well researched, and we've done as is recommended to do, and it has worked as it does. So we have all this proof, and they just go denied, 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 denied. And you have no appeal beyond the insurance company. So for instance, I went to the president of my university who spoke on my behalf, and he got a cease and desist order. I went to the Department of Insurance, and they said, well, the law actually reads that if there's no insurance code for the actual disease, they don't have to pay. So this is a huge flaw in the system. We went to the Undiagnosed Disease program. We were one of 3,000 people who got accepted in the year we got accepted. They have over 10,000 applicants every year, and our doctors had never heard of it. So how many people are out there with undiagnosed diseases? Probably 100,000 every year, whose insurance can deny them everything because there's not an insurance code for what they got, even if the symptoms are understood and the causes of those symptoms are understood and there's treatments available. Wow. So the system is run by the insurance companies and really takes away your rights. Now, my wife went into coma for 2 weeks. or actually about 2 months. And she comes out. I talked to our doctor, Dr. Dan Zuckerman, and I said, we know what's going to happen again. What are we going to do? And they're not paying for Avastin. He says, we'll find something else. So he came up with this treatment that uses hormone therapy. Peg's blood counts start to go bad. We know we got to do something to attack the masses. He has letters from Dr. Pruthi, from the Undiagnosed Disease program, research articles, and a very well-reasoned argument for why this is what we have got to do. So we do that, and before we leave the office, we get a denial. And so they hadn't even read it. They just said, oh, it's that woman. We've got an excuse. Denied. Well, whenever I get a denial, I read it as go die. And I brought that up to Dan, and he goes, oh, that's exactly what they want. Blue Cross of Idaho wants Peggy to die because even though they're denying her all treatments, they still have to pay for blood tests and things like that. And he said they make business decisions, and they're going to make any decision they can to save themselves money. Now, interestingly, Blue Cross of Idaho has gone from earning $11 million a year, the year that Peggy got sick, to $57 million a year this year alone. Now, I don't know how many clients they've got, but Idaho's only got a little over 1 million people, so they're earning a ton of money off of us denying us our care. Well, Dan said to us during this same office call, he goes, hey, you're on Medicare now, because Peg had been declared permanently disabled, and you wait 8 months, and then you're on Medicare, and she had just qualified. So we go, yeah. And he goes, oh, let's send the same thing. So he sends the same thing with a different cover letter. That evening, the nurse calls me and says, approved. So Medicare approved it, where Blue Cross wouldn't even look at it. So I said to Dan, you got to explain this to me. And he goes, it's simple. Medicare's run by doctors. They engage in medical decision-making. I made a medical argument for Peg's health. They said yes. He goes, Blue Cross are business people. They don't give a shit about you or whether you live or die. They worry about earning money, and they will use any excuse to deny you. So I said, isn't that what Obama originally proposed, that everybody could get Medicare? Everybody could opt in if they wanted. And Dan said, well, who do you think went crazy about that? He said it was the insurance companies, because they realized that it would take 6 months for everybody to go, wow, this Medicare is cheaper, it controls cost, and it's reasonable and reliable, and you're going to get the care you need. And he said, so they went wild. And what happened as a result was a strengthening of the basic problem of for-profit insurance, which was now everybody has to buy for-profit insurance. And he said that was a compromise Obama made to get something done, but it actually exacerbated the original problem and the existing problem, which is for-profit insurance, which is paying a bunch of people who are not doctors, who do not engage in medical decision-making, to deny us our care for the profit of themselves and shareholders. No other first-world country has this. Switzerland has gone from our for-profit insurance to a single-payer system with great results, saving 38% of overhead, giving care to everybody. It's been a huge success story. And it's ideological and traditional that we stick with this kind of care. No other country does it. And the World Health Organization judges us as having the most expensive care in the world, by far, about double of any other place, and we get the 38th best care. So that's what we're paying insurance companies to do, to cost us a lot of money and give us inferior care.
Where are they located in Idaho?
Meridian,
Idaho, in the building there. Yes.
Peggy Jo won't go.
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 Peggy Jo won't go. Peggy Jo won't go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Peggy Jo won't go, 'cause we love her so. She won't go. Peggy Jo won't go. Peggy Jo won't go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Peggy Jo won't go, 'cause we love her so. She won't go. Love Peggy Jo. We love Peggy Jo. whoa, whoa, whoa. We love Peggy Jo, we love her so. Peggy Jo.
Peggy Jo won't go.